Okay, so if you don't know, I got my wisdom teeth taken out recently, so apologize if I'm not as boisterous as I normally am. But it came with something that I really want to talk about: the opportunity just to binge read. I haven't had the opportunity to binge read a series in a very long time, whether it just be other responsibilities, work, and stuff like that. But when you're finally kind of required just to sit down and heal, you make a YouTube video. Yeah. My doctor finds this video. He's like, "Hey, man, you're not supposed to be talking." All right, listen, I'm doing pretty well. It feels pretty good. And I have to just avoid thinking about food because honestly, the only thing I've been able to eat recently is applesauce. And let me tell you, as someone who enjoys solid food, while applesauce is fine, I'm an adult, okay? And I need more than just applesauce. So I'm kind of making this video so I don't go crazy. So yeah, let's talk about why binge reading manga is kind of fun. Okay, that feels better. I feel cleaner. But yeah, I just want to talk about binge reading and how fun and special it can be, right? That thing of falling into this world this author's created, and especially when you get the time where you don't feel like, I'm tired from work. I got plans with like family and friends or just like life things. And kind of having this thing where I'm not really supposed to do anything. I have the ability to fall into a series that maybe I've been putting off for a long time. Like, I'm gonna finally finish Naruto. I'm on volume 68 out of 72. I'm finally gonna finish that series. Now, while I kind of watched a little bit of the anime growing up, and I've dabbled with the manga series and had the box sets for forever, and just being able to read, and I struggle sometimes with, well, I know, obviously everyone has hobbies and you should always take time out for yourself. Sometimes you kind of struggle with that, right? I think the older you get, or at least I can speak for myself, the older you get, you're like, well, I have this responsibility, or I really should be doing this. And sometimes it's hard for you, or I can only speak for myself, but like hard for me to take this exact moment out of my day to like really just relax, I guess is the best way to say it, And I know that's probably not great. Now that I'm saying it out loud, probably not great, but yeah, dude, I struggle with that sometimes, just that feeling of it's okay to take a whole day and kind of just not do much, lounge about, read a bunch of series, watch a bunch of TV shows. I think that's okay, and I think honestly it's necessity. I think we need that, especially the older you get, and the stress of like just trying to make it, like kind of giving yourself that okay to be like, yeah, all right, I'm just gonna do what I want for this entire day. And so having these 5 days to do that, I'm using it as a way to catch up on, I don't know if you know this, but here, come check this out. I own a lot of manga, right? Like, I say it in almost every video that I do. I collected way too fast. So having this ability to have 5 days where the expectation is not like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's like having my own little mini summer. Because if you're anything like me, you loved summer. You didn't have responsibilities, you didn't have school. It was just kind of you and your friends, and it felt like an adventurous time. And you felt free to do kind of anything. The possibilities were limitless. Now, yes, did I have to go through a little bit of pain? Sure, yeah, no. Was it a very weird experience? Yes. I didn't get like anesthesia or anything, so you're just kind of looking up and you're just watching these people just kind of listen, we're not going to go into it because, some people might not be really into it, but yeah, just being awake for the entire thing, wild experience. So listen, I had to go through some things to get this 5 days, but having that feeling, especially during the summer and during this time of year, like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed just kind of waking up and just being like, oh no, I'm going to read. this is what I'm going to do. And especially focusing in on one series like Naruto and being like, this is one of the big threes, one of the best series that a lot of people put in their top 5, top 10, and especially for someone that talks about stuff on the internet, probably need to read it, probably need to get that going. And I think it definitely helps to be a series that, while I didn't grow up with it, it feels nostalgia. Even for someone reading it for the first time, you see those old 90s, early 2000s tropes of shonen, and you see where a lot of especially shonen action series have taken inspiration from Naruto. Whether it be character, story beats, or action, you're kind of experiencing a series that has become very influential. But see, that's not the only reason that binge reading can be fun, right? Is when you get lost in that world and you're reading all of these volumes back to back to back to back, it can kind of help sell the story more. You can kind of get lost in that world easier because you're not waiting week to week or month to month or even volume to volume. You have everything right in front of you. And just being able to dive in and take the time to read it volume 1 to the final volume can make some story beats hit harder for you. Can make some character growth and choices a little bit easier to follow. Because I don't know about you, but I have done it multiple times where I will sometimes have to read. Let's say we're talking about a volume 5. Sometimes I gotta go back and read volumes 1 through 4 because it's been so long. Whether it took a while for the next volume to get released or where I just didn't pick up the volume immediately because it wasn't a series that I was like, new volume drops, I'm picking it up. And so you let a few volumes build up, and by the time you go back to it, you're like, well, I might as well just start at volume 1 again. But just having the entire series right in front of you can kind of help you with the story that it's telling. And I think that's a lot of the reason, and I know I've made videos about this before, but I struggle with collecting the entire series before really giving it a shot. I struggled in the beginning with that. I've done better with, I might pick up a volume or two or let, maybe volumes 1 through 3 come out, so then I can pick it up and just kind of check out the 3-volume rule, as that we've talked about on the channel before. You give it 3 volumes, and if it's for you, great, continue. If not, you can drop it. That's kind of how I do manga. But the plus side of collecting an entire series before even giving the first volume a shot is, if it is a series that hits for you, you have it all right there. You can binge read from volume 1 to volume 20. And so some of the story that it's talking about can be a little easier to, remember because you just read it a day ago, read it 2 weeks ago. That's what I've really been enjoying about Naruto, is when it does callbacks to things. I mean, yeah, most series will do little flashback panels, but I don't really need them because, I just read about that stuff that happened in volume 10 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it makes it easier to kind of keep up with this story. And I think in turn, it can make you really connect with a story easier. Because I know some series that I have really enjoyed, and like we talked about, that I really enjoyed it, and then something happened where I kind of just put it to the side for a while, and now I've kind of forgotten where I was. So, a series that I really enjoyed maybe has suffered for that, and because I just didn't wait and just have everything right in front of me. But I don't know, my mouth is really starting to hurt because I've been talking a lot, and I'm feeling good, but I don't want to overdo it, so I'm not going to ramble as much as I would normally do. Hopefully, I feel like I'm talking real rough. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and it wasn't too rough and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm doing good. Just binge reading a bunch of manga series. I'm finishing up Naruto, and then I don't know, man, I'm thinking I got a few other series that I really want to check out. But hey, actually, let me know in the comments down below, if you were sick, had about 5 days, what manga series would you binge read in that time? Because I might want to read them. But yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. It means the world to me, and I hope if you're having a bad day, it gets better. If you're having a good day, it becomes fantastic. I'll see you next time.